back with New York Fashion Week creator and host of the Conversation series Fashion Icons with Fern Malice, executive and consultant industry titan. Fern Malice there with Valentino, the legendary. You got him to tell you what underwear.
He actually wouldn't admit it.
He wouldn't admit it. You've learned so many things, obviously, talking to the icons of fashion. How would you define the world of fashion today?
Good question. All over the place.
All over the place.
But in a good place. I mean, fashion is a spirit, it's an energy. And I mean, even with these designers on the stage, I mean, there's so much is possible. Yeah. There's no rules anymore.
I love it, I love it. Well, let's get to our designers. We introduce you to Ronisha from Columbia, South Carolina. Ronisha is a nurse by day and a talented fashion designer by night. Let's take a look at one of your models that you brought here. Ronisha, what is your question for Fern?
If you could identify 3 moments that shaped your career, what would it be?
The first moment that shaped my career is when I got a telegram when I was in college, and I was selected to be a Mademoiselle guest editor, which was a very, very famous competition at the time. And so I became a junior editor for a month in New York at Mademoiselle magazine, which doesn't exist anymore, but that was like winning the Nobel Peace Prize or something.
This gown is absolutely stunning. What are your thoughts on it?
This dress is Met Gala worthy.
Wow. Met Gala worthy. There you have it. Okay, Ernesto, Washington, D.C., you're up next. Ernesto was into architecture and then at age 58 decided he would take on a fashion career. And this beautiful wedding gown, couture wedding gown, was a showstopper. Fern, first, before Ernesto's questions, what are your thoughts on the gown?
If I remember, this is from IKEA.
The drapes are from IKEA that he turned into this gown.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, it's really, it's the exuberance, and it's happy, and it makes you smile. I mean, bravo. It's never too late to do what you dream and what your heart wants you to do.
Yeah. Ernesto, your question for Fern.
What advice do you have for an emerging designer to fill a niche in the market?
Well, if you have identified a niche that you think is missing and that you want to fill, you've won half the battle. I mean, you have to find that niche and get razor-sharp focus on it, and that's how you succeed.
I love it. Coming up, the rest of our designers get their chance to ask Fern Malice a question, and we get to look back at the looks they put on this runway. Welcome back. We are here with our up-and-coming fashion designer series with the incomparable, the godmother of fashion, the one and only Fern Malice. And Fern, I know you're very, very busy. You also have your book, Fashion Icons, Fashion Lives with Fern Malice. And these are some of the icons in the book. You wrote in the book, I have a quote here. It says, while it may be true nothing in fashion lasts forever, I believe the memories and the lessons learned from these fashion icons will endure.
This series, it's in its 13th year, 65 designers I've done. You learn so much about them because I don't ask them about their collection.
Yeah.
I want to know, they're more than a name on a label. How did you do it?
Right.
How much money did you need to start? When did you know you wanted to be a designer? Who influenced you? Right. What was the most important influence in your life? And we talk about stuff that nobody ever asks them about.
Well, that's why we love these designers, because as much as I love all of your creations, your stories from nurse to someone who took a leap of faith, and from your story, Zoe, taking a leap of faith with sustainable mentality of where the world is currently. That's a bold move.
Important.
So important. We have Zoe from Providence, Rhode Island. Your show-stopping design, as I told you, one of a kind. Let's bring it out. Everyone was asking me about this tireless work here. These are actual doll heads. Open up. Designed in this unique way. And what Fern said, it's a wide open field in fashion. So your lane is, I'm going to do what makes me happy. And this is fantastic. Fern, what did you think about Zoe's?
This just blew me away. I saw this on the show. I was like, oh my God. I mean, sustainable is the most important word today in the fashion industry and in every industry. You people have to help save the planet, really.
Yeah.
This should be in, a museum.
Thank you.
It's phenomenal. What's your question for Fern?
My question is, I design from a really conceptual standpoint, and as a business, I have trouble bridging the gap between art and commerce. So how would you, what advice do you have for sort of commercializing these artistic pieces?
Well, you are an artist designer, an art fashion designer. I mean, it's almost its own category. I mean, I don't know about commercializing this, but you'd really need a very enlightened manufacturer, somebody who would say, we can interpret that and make it more mass-produced. But there are elements of that you can kind of phase down to get the spirit of this to make it more commercial. Very, very impressed with what you did.
Thank you.
There's definitely a place for you in the industry.
Oh, wow. Next up, thank you so much. Next up, Kay Daniels from Dallas, Texas. Your organza jumpsuit, let's bring it out. Beautiful.
Beautiful. The fabric, the color is extraordinary. The layers, the way it moves. I mean, a car dealership to this, I mean, you gotta be good. There's no contest here.
That's right. Thank you so much. I love this. This is so beautiful. Last but not least, we have our fifth and final designer from Los Angeles, Lisa. Let's bring out the metallic blue showstopper that Lisa Fong brought in to us. Fern, what are your thoughts?
I think you just said the word showstopper.
Showstopper.
It's fun. It's great. I mean, what's wonderful about that is a lot of parties and events, you're always moving your arms and, and if you're at a table, I mean, good luck eating your food with that.
Hey, Daniels, I got so caught up. What's your question for Fern?
My question was, with me being, I'm a one-of-one fashion designer, and I do everything on my own. So I'm wondering if you have any advice on how I can grow my brand and actually scale my work and actually hire a team and grow a team.
Well, you have to find people who believe in you and people who you trust implicitly, whether it's family or people you went to school with. Find those people. There are people who want to be part of a growing business and want to see you succeed. I mean, they will help you. You can't do it all yourself. You have to learn about manufacturing, about production. You have to know what it costs to make the garments you make. How much is the fabric? How much time do you spend on it? What would I sell it for? Do I make a profit on that? I mean, these are all decisions that you have to make, long before you'll ever see a dime in profit. Early on in my career, when we started Fashion Week, it was all about, Nordstrom in the front row, and Saks, and Bergdorf's, and Barney's, and Lord & Taylor, and half of them are gone, and they're all, but everybody's looking for new talent. Yeah. Fashion Week in New York especially, every season, the first question I got from all the editors who were coming from all over the world was, who's new?
Wow.
Who's new? They would go to all the standards, Carolina Herrera and Michael Kors and Calvin and Donna and all, but then they'd always say, who's new?
And you're new. It's you. Lisa, your question for Fern.
How would you say would be a good timeline for a designer to develop a business? Is it something they should do at the start, or should they find their footing and their message first before they, because like you said, it takes a team of people. Would you encourage them to just get all those parts right away, or just start when they feel ready?
Start the minute you feel you have something to say, and then slowly build in all of that. I mean, if you sit back and wait till every single I is dotted and T is crossed, you'll be 6 more years before you. So start doing it, and people will gravitate to you if you're doing something and you're loving it, and they get that passion from you. And that's what fashion is about in your life and in your career. people come back in your life in all sorts of ways. So always be nice to everybody you're working with.
That's right.
It is a small
Okay.
world.
So here's the designers. Fern's advice, be nice to everyone in the business, is legendary advice that she's given to people all over the world. We've got a few more surprises for you, so here we go. We reached out to our friends at Singer. As you know, Singer has been one of the leading brands of sewing machines for over 170 years. They've introduced the craft of sewing to people around the world. They want to help you on your design journey. So they're sending you home with their SE9180 sewing and embroidery machine, their adjustable dress form, and their Steamcraft Plus 2.0 iron. So here's the deal. These things are incredible, and that's not all. Singer's also giving you a 1-year platinum subscription to MySewNet with access to cutting-edge embroidery software and over 9,000 designs. It is a Singer designer bundle worth over $2,000. All right, so to help you on your journey, what is so special about today is that Fern and the creator and the mastermind behind Love Shack Fancy, Rebecca, come back over here. Here's the deal. From the design point of view, from the mastermind point of view of the stage, both have agreed to give you one-on-one time with them off camera. You will be able to ask questions of Rebecca and Fern without all of our eyeballs watching. Because at the end of the day, it is the knowledge that is the power that will complement your gifts. So now all of you get your chance to talk to two of the greatest in the business. Thank you so much. Oh my God.